Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, May 23rd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, we're going to take a look at NVTS. Absolutely monster move today. And got to think that a lot of people will probably be interested in watching on Friday. So let's get some of these key levels mapped out here. So the ideal level of support, when you say, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? So let's change this to green for support. And that would be if the price can stay up here above $4.10. Now, let me be very clear. Just because the price, if it were to come down there and break 410, that does not mean the entire chart is epically destroyed or anything like that. But yeah, preferably speaking, the price staying above that would be a very impressive sign of power. From the bigger picture, though, the level that matters most is that purple line right there, the 50-period simple moving average. Keyword being moving, because I understand price is all the way up here. This line's way down here. But as time goes by, that line's going to move itself higher and higher and get more and more relevant. So basically, it's like a trend line that's going to draw itself for you. So as long as the price remains above the overall trend line, then overall, the trend is still in the upwards direction. So again, preferably speaking, yeah, staying above $4.10 would be ideal. But from the grand scheme of it all, as long as it stays above that upsloping purple line, then the full trend is still in the bull's favor. In terms of areas of resistance, no need to overcomplicate this. You can see late afternoon, the price tried to get up through that level around 522, but that's just where the party kept stopping. So as of right now, that is a current dynamic as far as resistance levels are concerned. But all in all, great movement today, great volume. So we'll see if the uptrend can continue on Friday. Next one, QBTS. Very, very impressive mover. This will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched the video from the previous videos, but if you did, then hopefully you remember me talking about 15.25 as a key area of support. And you can see that late day yesterday, the price did come down to there, did a fantastic job of honoring that support. And then, yeah, the rest is history. Today, just absolutely explosive move up through there. So very nice move, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. And the first key update, just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. And that, once again, becomes our ideal level. What would make it look the healthiest, the strongest? 1750. Does that destroy everything if the price falls below it? It doesn't, because from the overall point of view, we still have this moving average right here, which, like I just talked about, as long as the price stays above that 50-period simple moving average, then overall, big picture-wise, the trend is still flowing upwards. And that's what it's all about, assuming you care about more of a grand scheme point of view. And then again, as far as areas of resistance in this situation, no to overcomplicate it. Just ask the question, where did the party finally stop today? And that was right up there. Party stopped a couple times, right around $19.50. So keep an eye on that. Good news with all that is, though, the price doesn't have to really travel a great distance before it can do battle with it. Now, if the price was down here, then yeah, it'd have to travel all the way up there before it could do battle. But in this situation, it's just got to travel a small distance. Does that mean that 1950 is guaranteed to break? Of course not. No guarantees. I'm just saying it's certainly more reasonable when the price has to travel a much smaller distance. But all in all, QBTS remains in a very, very impressive movement. So we'll see if that momentum carries into Friday. Next one, RGTI. Very, very impressive move here. And now we have what I'd call a bull pennant pattern, one that I think probably a lot of people are watching. And I make that comment about a lot of people watching because when there are a lot of people watching the same patterns and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can produce some very nice movements. So let's move that as a support. And then just keep the pattern easier to see. Let's keep it all the same color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the nice upwards move right here. We have the golf hole down here. And this would be, at least in my opinion, a bull pennant pattern. So just to reiterate, just because something's in a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed it's going to go up. But it's certainly more than valid to throw out the question of, if the price can break through that level, would that generate upwards buying pressure? Not guaranteed to happen, like I said, but certainly a plausible scenario to suggest. So if you like this price range, you like bull pennant patterns, keep an eye on it. Next one here, WOLF. Talked about this one in yesterday's video and how, made a nice move. Let's see if it can make progress. Progress I defined as staying up above 95 cents, and you can see that today. Not only did the price maintain above, it came a little bit close this morning during that opening 30 minutes, but then the price recovered very nicely, and it's continued to make progress and move higher and higher. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level. And as I already did on a previous chart, when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So now the newest level that I'd say is an important one to hold, is $1.40. I'm not going to call it the do or die level because I would consider now more so this overall trend line the level to keep an eye on, because as long as the price, let's change it up here, can stay above that level, then that does imply that overall the price is drifting in the upwards direction. So yes, preferably staying above this level would be great. But when you look at it, the price could technically come down here, break down below it, and then it could still find some support right there, bounce upwards, and the trend would still be up. Again, preferably staying above that level, but I would not call it a do or die level. In terms of areas of resistance, main battleground to watch now moving forward, going to be about that purple line right there, which I might chart to notes, the 50-period moving average. Currently valued at 233, but again, that is the moving average, so as time goes by, that number is going to lower itself because, well, that line is moving lower and lower. But all in all, the bounce continues. Next one here, NVDA. And all things considered, it did a good job of recovering. And what do I mean by recovering? Well, yesterday it was at a threat of potentially breaking to the downside of this longer-term sideways channel. So NVIDIA, has had this over the past several days. And yeah, yesterday it was flirting with maybe getting further downside break. But today it bounced back upward. So not a huge explosive day. But again, if you look at things from the bigger picture, it was healthy because it at least got back inside at least the midpoint of this channel. Now, there's still more work that needs to be done, but when you consider just how close it was potentially getting some sort of bigger break to the downside out of this sideways channel, overall, a good solid day. Now, in the near term, the first bit of quote-unquote work that needs to be done is it's now going to need to get up above that purple line there, as I talked about in yesterday's video. That would be the first key level of resistance, and surprise, surprise, the power of charts. That's right where it struggled with a little bit. But if the price can break above there, then the next key overarching area would be up there around that area at the top of the resistance, which I've talked about previously. But one step at a time, let's just first see if the price can break up above that purple line there. Again, if the price comes back to the downside, well, then nothing new to there to report. 130, 150, which is the bottom of the sideways channel, would be the key level that you'd want to see hold strong. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering here very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to get signed up and learn more about how I'm using these tools to build consistency and manage risk, then down in the description area, I'll put a link to get signed up. Or if you're watching right at my website, you can click there on the webpage to get signed up. Now, a special note, it is a genuine live event. So it's happening this evening, but maybe you already have something on your schedule. Maybe you're watching this Friday morning and you totally missed it. That is okay. Send me an email to Clay, C-L-A-Y, at claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay so that you can watch it at your earliest convenience. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a few hours. Next one here, we are looking at MLGO, and I just hesitate because last time I was looking at this, I was thinking about talking about something a little bit differently, but still a good situation. And that situation here is that the price has broken out through this pattern. So we had this, I'm going to do this very crudely now, but we had this bull pennant pattern. But as I speak right now, you can see the breakout has occurred. Whoops, that was supposed to be a different color. Right there, the breakout has occurred, which now leads to a very exciting question. That question being, is this the start of something bigger? Now think about the question. It makes no sense to ask that question if nothing worthwhile is happening. But something worthwhile here is happening, therefore it does make sense. The question, is this breakout the start of something bigger? To be fair, I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe this is a fake breakout and it rolls right back over. But again, to be fair, well, I mean, maybe this is the start of something much bigger and this thing's getting ready to rock and roll that much more. So you don't know that, but what we do know is it's more than valid to be asking the question, all right, is this breakout the start of something even bigger? So if you like this price range, you like to play breakouts and maybe try to catch momentum as it goes, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, BON, and this one I like just because it's pretty straightforward, and also the last 30 minutes here has offered up quite a bit of spice. I mean, things got pretty wild that final 30 minutes, so we'll be interested to see how this translates to Friday. But like I said, some very well-defined levels. We'll start with the first area as support, and you can see several times today now the price went right down around $1.91 a couple times there, and then even during the last 30 minutes, and bounced each and every time off that area. And then on the flip side of things, again, I would argue a pretty well-defined area where the sellers are hanging out at. And that was right up here, give or take, right around $2.23. But you can see a couple of situations there, and then even during the last 30 minutes, granted it peaked its head up a little bit, but like I said, generally speaking, right around 230, a key area of resistance. So as of right now, yes, it's in this sideways channel, but do we get some sort of answer on Friday with either the bulls winning the battle or the bears winning the battle? Grab your popcorn and we'll see what happens. Next one, IONQ, an absolutely monster move today. And now we have ourselves a nice little pattern here. So we have our resistance part of the pattern. And I'm going through this quicker because you've already heard me talk about this type of pattern, so I want to respect your time as much as possible. Like I said, go through this as quickly as possible. So let's map out the pattern here with the same colors. Just make sure you can see it. There's the resistance. There's the support. There's a nice move up. Here's the golf hole down here. So we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. I'd say the biggest difference here is if you like maybe stocks that are a little bit higher up in price. So right here, this is in the $40 range. Then here you go. So a good variety to choose from as far as those people that like the bull pennant pattern. Next one here, RUN. And what I find interesting about this one is it's a very basic premise, massive gap down here. And this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have traded for a while. But if you have, I'm sure you've seen stocks that get hammered to the downside on a gap down. And then after the market opens, it looks something like this, where it just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds. But that was not the case here. The price at least went sideways. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because there's a huge gap down and just because it's gone sideways does not mean that for sure guaranteed this thing is going to skyrocket in the upwards direction. Now, is it plausible? Yeah, I think it's plausible to throw out the suggestion that, hey, maybe just maybe the selling pressure is done. Maybe just maybe the buyers are going to try to step back in. So, again, not guaranteed to happen, but based on the price action, I think at least a reasonable question and scenario to throw out there, which means, or which, is going to have the key battleground area right there around $6.85, as was basically the top part of this channel that formed all day long. So if the price can push up through there, certainly a valid question to throw out there. Will that break generate some more upside buying pressure and maybe be a leading indicator that more buyers are going to step in? We'll see what happens and see if the price can break that 685 mark. Next one, TSLA Tesla. And again, big picture wise, good solid day here as the price is now back inside of basically the middle part of the channel. Yesterday, it was threatening potentially breaking to the downside. So this reminds me quite a bit of NVIDIA, how when we talked about NVIDIA earlier, remember that was the big threat. Is it going to break and get more pushed down through that overarching sideways pattern? And Tesla was at the same threat, but again, very nice move up. Now, as I zoom back in, and this is more so a day trading viewpoint, yeah, last 30 minutes, not so great. But again, one 30-minute candle is not going to make or break a multi-day chart. But I'm just saying that, yeah, unfortunately, this didn't close probably exactly how a lot of people wanted it to, but it is still within the overall channel. So on that note, not really a whole lot of things to report. You still have 334.65 as that key area of support. You have 352.50 as that key area of resistance, and it'll still just kind of be a waiting game to see who ultimately wins out. But yes, within the narrow side of things, very, very nice recovery back upwards. And, for the bulls out there, hopefully this 30-minute candle isn't any sort of indicator of more selling to come on Friday, but we'll see what happens on Friday. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then as I mentioned earlier, get signed up for this free live webinar. Again, though, if you cannot make it live for whatever reason, because it will be tonight, Thursday, May 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern time. But if you can't make it, then go ahead, send me an email to clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay so that you can watch it at your earliest convenience. And also, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, turn on notifications, because I do live stream now. I live stream most days at 11 a.m. Eastern time. But again, if you hit that like button, or if you subscribe and turn on the notification bell, then yeah, you'll be notified whenever I do go live. So if you want to come watch me trade, hang out, ask me questions, then make sure you check out the live stream too. But again, go get signed up for that free class tonight or drop me an email, and hopefully I'll be seeing you here in just a few hours.